Woke up feeling heavy, nights don't leave me alone. Prayers on my lips, but the silence is stone. Broken in a mirror, reflection of pain. Still I lift my hands, calling out his name. Streets whisper fear, voices pull me down. Yet in the shadows, his light surrounds every tear I shed. He carries for me, even when I stumble. He set me free. He's my hope when the world turns cold. He's my strength when my heart feels old. Through the storm, through the fire, through the fight, he holds me steady, brings me to light. He's my peace when the night won't end. He's my healer, my eternal friend. Every chain breaks, every burden falls. He's my hope, the answer to all calls. Counting scars like a map of my past. Lessons in pain, but his mercy lasts. Whispers of doubt try to steal my mind, but his promises, they never decline. Lost in temptation, waves try to drown. Still I hear his heartbeat, a holy sound. Guiding me softly through valleys low, teaching my soul how to overflow. He's my hope when the world turns cold. He's my strength when my heart feels old. Through the storm, through the fire, through the fight, he holds me steady, brings me to light. He's my peace when the night won't end. He's my healer, my eternal friend. Every chain breaks, every burden falls. He's my hope, the answer to all calls. Late nights alone, thinking I'm unseen, yet his hand cover me, calm and serene. Every mistake, every tear I've sown, he waters the sea, and grace has grown. Voices of failure echo in my head, but his word reminds me I'm lit. Through every shadow, through every loss, he paid the price, he bore the cross. He's my hope when the world turns cold. He's my strength when my heart feels old. Through the storm, through the fire, through the fight, he holds me steady, brings me to light. He's my peace when the night won't end. He's my healer, my eternal friend. Every chain breaks, every burden falls. He's my hope, the answer to all calls. Morning breaks and I rise again. Faith in my chest, healing from sin. Every step forward, I feel his grace. Every breath reminds me of his embrace. Troubles may come, but I won't despair. He walks with me, always there. My heart finds rhythm in his gentle scope. Through every shadow, he's my hope. He's my hope when the world turns cold. He's my strength when my heart feels old. Through the storm, through the fire, through the fight, he holds me steady, brings me to light. He's my peace when the night won't end. He's my healer, my eternal friend. Every chain breaks, every burden falls. He's my hope, the answer to all calls. Even when I fail, even when I fall, I hear him whisper, I hear his call. Every doubt fades, every fear breaks. I stand renewed, for his love takes. Through trials uncounted, through nights alone, he lifts me higher, he makes me known. Every dark hour, every tear I've wept, he's my refuge, my soul he kept. He's my hope when the world turns cold. He's my strength when my heart feels old. Through the storm, through the fire, through the fight, he holds me steady, brings me to light. He's my peace when the night won't end. He's my healer, my eternal friend. Every chain breaks, every burden falls. He's my hope, the answer to all calls. I walk in his light, I stand unshaken. Every fear fades, every heart awakens. Through every trial, his love I know, forever and always. He's my home. I was way down by storms I never saw coming. Asked the Lord if he still heard me through the noise. Opened scripture and found strength in every promise. Let his peace steady places I thought were lost. Held on when the path felt narrow and uncertain. Let his truth come to tremble inside my chest. When I felt overwhelmed, he pulled my heart upward. Showed me trust grows strongest when the night is long. I'm standing firm in faith, even when shadows linger. Holding close to the one who never steps away. Every moment he guides me with quiet assurance. Breathing hope into spaces I try to hide. His mercy keeps me lifted through shifting seasons. His grace turns my weakness into steady ground. No matter the pressure, he keeps my soul anchored. I'm rooted in his word, unshaken by the storm. Some days I carry worries heavier than my voice, but he reminds me I'm safe beneath his covering. Found courage in verses that call me to be still. Let his presence settle every wavering thought. He restores what fear tried to scatter inside me. Shows compassion in ways I can't explain yet feel. When doubt tried creeping back in, he rebuilt my focus. Placed reassurance where old wounds used to live. I'm standing firm in faith, even when shadows linger. Holding close to the one who never steps away. Every moment he guides me with quiet assurance. Breathing hope into spaces I try to hide. His mercy keeps me lifted through shifting seasons. His grace turns my weakness into steady ground. No matter the pressure, he keeps my soul anchored. I'm rooted in his word, unshaken by the storm. I look back and see battles I didn't think I'd finish, yet he carried me quietly through every valley. Gave me patience when my heart rushed ahead of him. Taught me calm through trials I didn't understand. His direction came gentle but changed everything. And his hand stayed steady when my faith felt thin. Now I walk with a confidence I never earned, because he stood with me when nothing else did. I'm standing firm in faith, even when shadows linger. Holding close to the one who never steps away. Every moment he guides me with quiet assurance. Breathing hope into spaces I try to hide. His mercy keeps me lifted through shifting seasons. His grace turns my weakness into steady ground. No matter the pressure, he keeps my soul anchored. I'm rooted in his word, unshaken by the storm. I cling to verses that remind me I am upheld. Promises that whisper courage when I'm worn. Learn that trust matures in the toughest hours, and breakthrough often blooms with trials worth. He keeps my spirit steady when fear resurfaces. Turns uncertainty into quiet determination. Reminds me he's faithful in ways I still discover, and builds boldness in places once fragile. I'm standing firm in faith, even when shadows linger. Holding close to the one who never steps away. Every moment he guides me with quiet assurance. Breathing hope into spaces I try to hide. His mercy keeps me lifted through shifting seasons. His grace turns my weakness into steady ground. No matter the pressure, he keeps my soul anchored. I'm rooted in his word, unshaken by the storm. Your strength becomes my peace when weight surrounds me. Your truth cuts through confusion in quiet ways. You hold every part of me I thought was breaking. You steady my soul when doubt tries rising. You remind me your presence outlasts all trouble. You speak courage to places fear once lived. You carry me forward when I hesitate. You show me I'm never walking alone. I'm standing firm in faith, even when shadows lurk. Holding close to the one who never steps away. Every moment he guides me with quiet assurance. Breathing hope into spaces I try to hide. His mercy keeps me lifted through shifting seasons. His grace turns my weakness into steady ground. No matter the pressure, he keeps my soul anchored. I'm rooted in his word, unshaken by the storm. And through it all, he keeps shaping my heart, teaching me strength I didn't know I had. I keep moving forward because he leads the way. Firm in faith, now I know. I lean on faith when the weight felt too heavy to name. I reach for hope even when every breath felt strained. I lay my fears down, trusting you hold what I couldn't fix. I open trembling hands, letting go of what never healed quick. I whisper prayers when the silence felt colder than night. I clung to truth even when nothing around looked right. I found calm rising in places where doubt had lived long. I stood steady again, cause you made the shaking strong. You lifted me up when the ground kept pulling me low. You covered my heart when the storm refused to slow. You stayed in my mind as the pressure tried to bend my will. You poured peace inside where the ache was loud and still. You broke through darkness with gentleness I didn't expect. You guarded my path when confusion tried to redirect. You wrapped my soul in safety where I once felt wrong. You became my refuge when I needed shelter strong. I walked through valleys with shadows that pressed on my chest. I tried to outrun pain, but you called me to rest. I wrestled with memories that never played fair. I traded my fear for your promise to stay right there. I breathed again slowly as your comfort rewrote my pace. I felt courage rise from the kindness in your embrace. I saw burdens fade as you taught me how to belong. I kept moving forward cause you kept making me strong. You filled every void with a loneliness used to live. You taught me endurance when I had nothing left to give. You reshaped my thinking when doubt kept clouding my view. You held my future steady when I had no clue. You revived broken places with clarity only you bring. You softened my wounds with a quiet healing spring. You pulled me from moments where everything felt wrong. You stood beside my weakness as my shelter strong. I faced long nights where the worry refused to break. I carried regret like a weight I couldn't shake. I cried out for mercy when guilt stayed louder than peace. I learned through your word that your grace does not cease. I trusted your nearness when comfort felt distant before. I opened new doors that fear told me to ignore. I rested in truth that your presence had been there all along. I rose once again because your strength kept me strong. You guided my steps when the pathway looked unclear. You calmed every tremble when I wrestled with fear. You brightened the road that I'm certain and tried to hide. You anchored my heart when doubt pulled from every side. You held my spirit firm when confusion tried to lead. You covered my wounds with the healing I'd always need. You corrected the lies that told me I didn't belong. You became my constant, my shelter ever strong. I learned to trust you with chapters still yet to unfold. I laid down resentment I carried from seasons old. I welcomed your promise that restoration was near. I found a new steady rising inside once ruled by fear. I embraced your kindness that reached where hurt ran deep. I let your assurance guard every thought I keep. I stepped in the hope where the past that way for so long. I kept pressing forward cause you kept me strong. You shaped my foundation when everything else gave way. You touched every moment that once felt too heavy to say. You met me in silence where discouragement tried to live. You offered direction only your wisdom could give. You stood in the gap when strength fell short again. You carried my heart through valleys I couldn't name. You breathed new courage when weakness felt too strong. You sheltered my life in the love that's always strong. I stand rebuilt by the power that held me through fire. I walk renewed with a purpose lifted higher. I move with peace that once felt impossible to see. I grow with grace you keep pouring into me. I rise with courage shaped by everything you've done. I hold the truth that you never left anyone. I lean on hope that keeps pushing my faith along. I stay reminded why your refuge keeps me strong. You guarded my spirit when the storm tried to wear me thin. You spoke reassurance right when doubt tried to settle in. You restored the places I thought would never heal. You turned heavy moments into something real. You stood in the mess where I once felt so wrong. You wrapped me in care that it carried me all along. You lifted my life with a love that stays lifelong. You are my forever refuge, my shelter strong. Here I am standing, steady in the strength you give. Here I am choosing peace in the way you teach me to live.
I woke up feeling heavy, but I still said thank you inside my breath. You pulled me from the edge when my strength was fading in the stress. I didn't see a future, but somehow you told me keep walking on. Your whisper in my spirit kept me from thinking everything was gone. I leaned on every promise, even when my heart was trembling low. You lifted up my courage, helping every wounded place to grow. I learned that in the silence, you speak louder than the noise around. And even in the shadows, your steady peace is where I'm found. Grace for the day, that's what carried me through these moments I can't explain. Grace for the day, when I'm fighting battles hidden deep inside my brain. Grace for the day, when the world feels cold and I'm losing track of hope. Grace for the day, when I'm holding on and really learning how to cope. Grace for the day, you remind me storms don't stay and nights don't last. Grace for the day, you rebuild the parts of me that broke down in my past. Grace for the day, you steady my steps when everything starts to shake. Grace for today, you give me strength, no fear can never take. There were nights I questioned if you still remembered every tear I hid. I wondered if my prayers mattered after everything I already did. But you kept showing mercy, not counting all the moments I felt lost. You showed me how forgiveness doesn't measure pain by what it cost. You told me I was chosen even when my confidence was thin. You helped me see with clarity I didn't have the faith to find within. You used the things that hurt me just to shape a deeper kind of trust, and turn my aching seasons into something powerful and just. Grace for today, that's what carried me through these moments I can't explain. Grace for today, when I'm fighting battles hidden deep inside my brain. Grace for today, when the world feels cold and I'm losing track of hope. Grace for today, when I'm holding on, barely learning how to cope. Grace for today, you remind me storms don't stay and nights don't last. Grace for today, you rebuild the parts of me that broke down in my past. Grace for today, you steady my steps when everything starts to shake. Grace for today, you give me strength, no fear can never take. I've walked through heavy seasons where my thoughts were nothing but a weight, but you kept showing patience, teaching me your time is never late. You pulled me through confusion, brought me to a safer, calmer place. You covered all my failures with a kindness I could never trade. You filled the empty spaces with a quiet hope I can't deny. You guided every moment like a lamp that keeps my path alive. You helped me rise again after the moments I felt undeserved. You taught my heart to breathe again through every truth I finally learned. Grace for today, that's what carried me through these moments I can't explain. Grace for today, when I'm fighting battles hidden deep inside my brain. Grace for today, when the world feels cold and I'm losing track of hope. Grace for today, when I'm holding on and barely learning how to cope. Grace for today, you remind me storms don't stay and nights don't last. Grace for today, you rebuild the parts of me that broke down in my past. Grace for today, you steady my steps when everything starts to shake. Grace for today, you give me strength, no fear can never take. If not for your compassion, I'd still be drowning in my yesterday. But you kept showing guidance, pointing me toward a brighter way. You held me when I faltered and restored the parts I pushed aside. You helped me face my doubts without the shame I used to try and hide. You taught me how to trust you when my truth was buried under pain. You gave me fresh assurance that my life was never lived in vain. You spoke into my spirit saying I am more than every scar, and promised that with you beside me I'd always make it through the heart. Grace for today, that's what carried me through these moments I can't explain. Grace for today, when I'm fighting battles hidden deep inside my brain. Grace for today, when the world feels cold and I'm losing track of hope. Grace for today, when I'm holding on and barely learning how to cope. Grace for today, you remind me storms don't stay and nights don't last. Grace for today, you rebuild the parts of me that broke down in my past. Grace for today, you steady my steps when everything starts to shake. Grace for today, you give me strength, no fear can never take. You said your grace is sufficient when I feel I'm at my limit. You said your power shows stronger when my strength has nothing in it. You said I'll never walk lonely even when the road feels rough. You said your peace goes before me when my heart cries out enough. You said I'm held through the pressure that no storm can break my soul. You said your promise stands firmly when I'm losing. I was walking with a weight that nobody else could see. Nights felt heavy and the silence kept pressing on me. Told God I'm tired, but I'm holding on the best that I can. Felt my face shaking like a storm rolling over the land. Opened up Psalms and the words started clearing my mind. There's healing in his wings, felt that truth set inside. Took a breath, let the fear slowly fall on my chest. Knew the one who restored me will finish the rest. He still heals when the ache runs deep. He still moves when the climb feels steep. He still speaks when the room grows cold. He still lifts every heart he holds. He still comes when the shadow rises. He still wipes tears we try to hide. He still loves with a strength so real through every hurt. Some days I felt broken and didn't know how to explain. Trying to smile while the inside was carrying pain. Read Matthew words saying he restores the crushed. Something in me softened cause I knew I could trust. I laid down the memories that never seem to fade. Let his comfort settle in the spaces fear made. Saw grace reaching places I never thought it would touch. He reminded me gently that I mattered that much. He still heals when the ache runs deep. He still moves when the climb feels steep. He still speaks when the room grows cold. He still lifts every heart he holds. He still comes when the shadows rise. He still wipes tears we try to hide. He still loves with a strength so real through every hurt. He still heals. I've seen days where depression nearly pushed me down, carrying questions that kept spinning around. But Isaiah said he gives power to the weak. Gave me courage I couldn't find all week. I walked forward even when I felt unsure. trusting every promise in His word would endure. Felt peace rising in a way I couldn't deny, like a quiet sunrise breaking open the sky. He still heals when the ache runs deep. He still moves when the climb feels steep. He still speaks when the room grows cold. He still lifts every heart He holds. He still comes when the shadows rise. He still wipes tears we try to hide. He still loves with a strength so real. Through every hurt, He still heals. Looking back now, I see mercy in every step. Even moments I felt forgotten or left. Romans says nothing can pull us from His love. Not the storms, not the doubts rising above. Now I walk with a stronger hope inside, knowing He's present in every tide. I've got proof in the scars that finally mended, proof that grace never stops once it's extended. He still heals when the ache runs deep. He still moves when the climb feels steep. He still speaks when the room grows cold. He still lifts every heart He holds. He still comes when the shadows rise. He still wipes tears we try to hide. He still loves with a strength so real. Through every hurt, He still heals. When your strength feels gone, He remains your light. When hope runs thin, He restores your sight. When your voice feels small, He answers still. When life is hard, He carries your will. When fear grows loud, He calms your chest. When doubt creeps close, He gives you rest. When the way seems lost, He clears the field. Through every season, He still heals. He still heals when the ache runs deep. He still moves when the climb feels steep. He still speaks when the room grows cold. He still lifts every heart He holds. He still comes when the shadows rise. He still wipes tears we try to hide. He still loves with a strength so real. Through every hurt, He still heals. I've seen His power change my day. I watch His mercy clear my haze. I stand today because He's near. He still heals. I'm living proof right here. I'm living proof right here.
I was walking through a season where the nights felt long, asking God if He could hear me when my strength was gone. Every step felt like a burden that I couldn't explain, but His promise in Isaiah kept me standing in the rain. Those who wait upon the Lord, that verse held me tight. When my hope was running low, He still fought my fight. I learned trust ain't built in moments when the sun feels warm. It grows deep when you're surrounded by the fiercest storm. I'm steadfast in Him, even when the path don't show. He lifts me again. When the weight sits in my soul, I cling to His word, cause it guides me through the strain. My shelter and strength. When I'm battling the pain, I rest in His peace. Even when the tears may come, He stays in the room. When everybody else runs, no matter the test, I trust the one who holds my life. Steadfast in Him, that's where I survive.
There were days I felt forgotten, like my prayers fell flat, but He whispered in the dark, I've already handled that. I was drowning in confusion, trying hard to understand, but He steadied every heartbeat with His gentle hand. Psalm 62 reminded me He's my refuge still. Even when my faith felt shaky, He revealed His will. I learned grace ain't just a word that we say in church, it's the healing that He gives when your soul feels hurt.
I'm steadfast in Him, when the path don't show. He lifts me again through the strength. My soul feels strong, and my heart
even when the tears may come, He stays in the room. When everybody else runs, no matter the test, I trust the one who holds my life. Steadfast in Him, that's where I survive. I seen people walk away when they didn't see my worth, but the Lord stayed close, proving love ain't rehearsed. He rebuilt what I lost when I thought it was done. Showed me blessings sometimes, grow from what felt like none. Philippians told me strength only comes from Christ, not from pride, not from fear, not from sacrifice. And the more I leaned on Him when my plans fell through, the clearer my heart heard, I'm not finished with you. I'm steadfast in Him, even when the path don't show. He lifts me again. When the weight sits in my soul, I cling to His word, cause it guides me through the strain. My shelter and strength. When I'm battling the pain, I rest in His peace. Even when the tears may come, He stays in the room. When everybody else runs, no matter the test, I trust the one who holds my life. Steadfast in Him, that's where I survive. Looking back on all the moments that I made it through, I can see it was His mercy pushing me anew. All the nights I felt forgotten, he was keeping watch, guarding every part of me when I felt so lost. John 15 taught me life's in the one true vine. When I stay close to him, everything got aligned. Now I'm living with a peace I can never earn, cause he held me in his hands when I had to learn. I'm steadfast in him, even when the path don't show. He lifts me again when the weight sits in my soul. I cling to his word, cause it guides me through the strain. My shelter and strength when I'm battling the pain. I rest in his peace, even when the tears may come. He stays in the room when everybody else run. No matter the test, I trust the one who holds my life. Steadfast in him, that way I survive. Steadfast when the world tries to break my stand. Steadfast when I'm fighting battles at a glance. Steadfast when the silence feels too loud to bear. Steadfast cause I know the Savior's always there. Steadfast when the doors close right in my face. Steadfast cause his mercy meets me with grace. Steadfast in the valley, steadfast on the climb. Steadfast cause he stay forever by my side. I'm steadfast in him, even when the path don't show. He lifts me again when the weight sits in my soul. I cling to his word, cause it guides me through the strain. My shelter and strength when I'm battling the pain. I rest in his peace, even when the tears may come. He stays in the room when everybody else runs. No matter the test, I trust the one who holds my life. Steadfast in him, that way I survive. Now I walk with the calm that he placed in me, standing firm in his truth where I'm meant to be. He carried me through seasons I thought would end, and he'll carry me again, cause he calls me friend. I walked through nights that tried to steal my breath. Felt storm inside me, I couldn't quiet it down. But grace kept whispering when my strength was gone. Pulled me from shadows, I thought I'd never leave you. I held on to Romans saying hope won't fade, even when pressure made my heart feel weak. I leaned on promise more than what I saw, and found his presence guarding every step. Faith never died when his word holds you steady. Faith never died when the valleys get heavy. Faith never died when you call and he answers. Faith never died when you trust through the shaking. Faith never died when the silence feel louder. Faith never died when his peace keeps you grounded. Faith never dies cause his love doesn't waver. Faith never dies, it keeps rising within you. I've had days feeling like I ran out of breath, wondered if joy could ever come again. But then I heard verses speaking life to me, telling my soul he never walks away. I held tight to mercy when I felt undone, let him rebuild places falling apart. Each time I stumble, he restored my steps, and showed me strength grows even in the hate. Faith never dies when his word holds you steady. Faith never dies when the valley get heavy. Faith never dies when you call and he answers. Faith never dies when you trust through the shaking. Faith never dies when the silence feels louder. Faith never dies when his peace keeps you grounded. Faith never dies cause his love doesn't waver. Faith never dies, it keeps rising within you. There were moments I couldn't see the way, prayers felt unanswered though I kept trying. Still I remembered he works through everything, God in my heart with patience I can't earn. I learned to rest knowing he carries me, even when burdens press harder than before. His kindness held me in the hardest nights, and lifted hope with fear tried to settle. Faith never dies when his word holds you steady. Faith never dies when the valleys get heavy. Faith never dies when you call and he answers. Faith never dies when you trust through the shaking. Faith never dies when the silence feel louder. Faith never dies when his peace keeps you grounded. Faith never dies cause his love doesn't waver. Faith never dies, it keeps rising within you. Now I stand stronger than the pain I faced, knowing his promise still carries me forward. And all the battles try to weigh me down, I keep my eyes on everything he said. When doubts come knocking, I lean into truth, trusting his timing over what I feel. My heart stays steady cause he's never failed, and every trial taught me he remains me. Faith never dies when his word holds you steady. Faith never dies when the valleys get heavy. Faith never dies when you call and he answers. Faith never dies when you trust through the shaking. Faith never dies when
when the silence feel louder. Faith never die when His peace keeps you grounded. Faith never die, cause His love doesn't waver. Faith never die, it keeps rising within you. I seen Him turn sorrow into quiet strength. Seen Him lift voices that were once silent. Watch Him rebuild hearts that felt forgotten. He never leaves those calling on His name, yeah. He lights the path even when it's unclear. He anchors soul drifting in deep water. He keeps His word through every season storm. His faithfulness proves He never lets go. Faith never die when His word holds you steady. Faith never die when the valleys get heavy. Faith never die when you call and He answers. Faith never die when you trust through the shaking. Faith never die when the silence feels louder. Faith never die when His peace keeps you grounded. Faith never die, cause His love doesn't waver. Faith never die, it keeps rising within you. I'm moving forward with a grounded heart, holding each promise that He placed in me. Nothing can change with His truth built inside. I walk in courage cause He walks with me, yeah. Every new sunrise reminds me He's near. Strength fills the spaces where fear used to be. Hope keeps expanding like an open sky. And I'll keep trusting His light leads me on. Hey. I walked through nights that felt like they would never ease. Holding prayers close, hoping one of them would finally breathe. I kept my head low, waiting for a gentle sunrise. Wondering if mercy still reach someone who barely tried. But You met me right there when my strength ran thin. You lifted my spirit when doubt kept crowding in. I felt Your promise echo like a quiet sign, telling me revival wasn't somewhere, it was already mine. You raised me again when I thought I was gone. You steadied my heart when the pressure felt strong. You carried the weight I couldn't hold inside. You whispered calm when everything collided. You pulled me up where shadows had me chained. You showed me grace I never could explain. You turned my fear into a brand new stand. You gave me breath and called me raised again. I remember moments when my hope felt close to numb, trying to trust even when I felt completely undone. I read those verses saying life can start anew. Wondered if that promise really counted for me too. But Your word spoke louder than the noise I held, saying every fall I faced could still be healed. And when I stumbled under all I carried deep, You gave me rest, the kind that lets the soul finally sleep. You raised me again when I thought I was gone. You steadied my heart when the pressure felt strong. You carried the weight I couldn't hold inside. You whispered calm when everything collided. You pulled me up where shadows had me chained. You showed me grace I never could explain. You turned my fear into a brand new stand. You gave me breath and called me raised again. I've learned redemption doesn't always look like ease. Sometimes it's courage and a season built to squeeze. Sometimes it's standing even when you're feeling weak. Sometimes it's finding peace you never knew to seek. And every time I thought I reached my final line, You stepped in gently saying You're still mine. I'm walking forward now with steady, honest step, trusting the promise that You never once forget. You raised me again when I thought I was gone. You steadied my heart when the pressure felt strong. You carried the weight I couldn't hold inside. You whispered calm when everything collided. You pulled me up where shadows had me chained. You showed me grace I never could explain. You turned my fear into a brand new stand. You gave me breath and called me raised again. Some days I still feel battles rising in my chest, but now I know Your strength feels in what I lack best. I keep that scripture close, the one that speaks of life, reminding me I'm chosen even through the strife. I'm learning joy doesn't mean I never break. It just means You're present with each fragile ache. And as I move forward with renewed steady sight, I tell the world You pulled me out and made me rise. You raised me again when I thought I was gone. You steadied my heart when the pressure felt strong. You carried the weight I couldn't hold inside. You whispered calm when everything collided. You pulled me up where shadows had me chained. You showed me grace I never could explain. You turned my fear into a brand new stand. You gave
gave me breath and called me raised again. When the storm shouts loud, you answer with your peace. When my hope runs low, your comfort doesn't cease. When my steps slip deep, you steady me again. When my heart feels lost, you call me back within. When the weight grows heavy, you lift without demand. When the road grows rough, you hold me by the hand. When the night extends, you speak a rising dawn. When all strength is gone, you help me carry on. You raised me again when I thought I was gone. You steadied my heart when the pressure felt strong. You carried the weight I couldn't hold inside. You whispered calm when everything collided. You pulled me up when shadows had me chained. You showed me grace I never could explain. You turned my fear into a brand new stand. You gave me breath and called me raised again. I'll keep walking forward with the truth you gave. I'll stay anchored steady in the way you say. I'll lean on the strength that you said to me. I'll trust every promise you will help me see. I'll move with a heart that remembers where I've been. I'll rest in the peace you place within. I'll stand in the freedom you brought me into. I'll live as someone you raised brand new. Yeah, I walk through nights that try to steal the truth I carry. Felt pressure weighing on the parts of me still healing. Held on to prayers when every thought was turning heavy. Asked God to guide me when my hope was barely breathing. Some days I questioned if my strength was even rising, but grace kept pulling me from places I was sinking. He whispered peace into the noise that tried to chain me, and taught my trembling heart the courage he was shaking. Give me the courage to stand when the ground feels shaky. Show me the path when my vision's fading. Hold my heart steady when the fear keeps chasing. Lift my soul higher when the storm keeps raging. I know you're present when the weight is breaking. I know you cover me when doubt is aching. You light my steps when the road feels vacant. You made me brave when the world seems dangerous. There were mornings I woke up unsure of tomorrow, but you filled my spirit with a strength I couldn't borrow. You turned quiet whispers into something I could follow, and clear the shadows that try to leave me hollow. Your word reminded me you're close when I feel hidden, that you restore the things I thought were long forbidden. You gave me calm when the battle felt unending, and taught me faith is built in moments I've been bending. Give me the courage to stand when the ground feels shaky. Show me the path when my vision's fading. Hold my heart steady when the fear keeps chasing. Lift my soul higher when the storm keeps raging. I know you're present when the weight is breaking. I know you cover me when doubt is aching. You light my steps when the road feels vacant. You make me brave when the world seems dangerous. Sometimes the silence made me wonder if you heard me, but you were shaping strength in places still uncertain. You lifted burdens I was never meant to carry, and poured renewal in the wounds that once were burning. You kept me standing when my thoughts were getting restless. Showed me that victory comes through being defenseless, cause in surrender lies the power you keep giving, and independence lies the courage to keep living. Give me the courage to stand when the ground feels shaky. Show me the path when my vision's fading. Hold my heart steady when the fear keeps chasing. Lift my soul higher when the storm keeps raging. I know you're present when the weight is breaking. I know you cover me when doubt is aching. You light my steps when the road feels vacant. You made me brave when the world seems dangerous. I've seen your mercy lift the pieces I thought ruined. Watch you rebuild the parts of me that felt abandoned. You turned my weakness into something you could use here, and brought assurance when my confidence was stranded. Your truth reminds me I am never walking lonely. Your love corrects the lies that try to overtake me. Now when I'm facing what once made my voice go quiet, I lean on faith that stands unshaken in the fire. Give me the courage to stand when the ground feels shaky. Show me the path when my vision's fading. Hold my heart steady when the fear keeps chasing. Lift my soul higher when the storm keeps raging. I know you're present when the weight is breaking. I know you cover me when doubt is aching. You light my steps when the road feels vacant. You make me brave when the world seems dangerous. I know you stay when everything feels fragile. You lift my heart when pressure turns to battle. You calm my thoughts when storms begin to rattle. You guide my steps when choices start to tangle. You speak your peace when fear begins to travel. You guard my soul when doubts begin to gather. You give me strength when weakness tries to shatter. You hold me close through every rising mountain. Give me the courage to stand when the ground feels shaky. Show me the path when my vision's fading. Hold my heart steady when the fear keeps chasing. Lift my soul higher when the storm keeps raging. I know you're present when the weight is breaking. I know you cover me when doubt is aching. You light seems dangerous. You lift me higher than the weight around me. You keep my spirit grounded in your promise. You make my steps steady through the trials. You are the courage that keeps me standing.
Hey, that's the real tick.
I walk through nights when silence felt like it was closing in on me. I pray for light while carrying things nobody else could see. I lean on God when everything around me felt unsure. I found His peace when every door behind me slammed and stirred. I held His word like armor when my thoughts began to shake. I stayed in faith though every step felt heavy on the way. I breathed His name until the fear inside my chest grew calm. I learned His strength is real when every human help was gone. Saved and strong, I rise because His promise never fades. Saved and strong, He lifts me when my courage starts to break. Saved and strong, I stand because His presence fights for me. Saved and strong, He heals the parts I never let Him see. Saved and strong, His mercy writes a future full of hope. Saved and strong, His hands restore the places I felt broke. Saved and strong, I trust Him when the storm begins to roar. Saved and strong, I walk in peace I never knew before. I've seen His grace in moments when my heart was losing grip. I felt His love surround me when my strength began to slip. I heard Him speak through scripture when my faith was running thin. I knew His truth was steady even when I fought within. I watched Him move in ways that made my fear fade out of sight. I stood again because His power pulled me through the night. I held His hope each time the path looked darker than before. I came alive because His presence opened every door. Saved and strong, I rise because His promise never fades. Saved and strong, He lifts me when my courage starts to break. Saved and strong, I stand because His presence fights for me. Saved and strong, He heals the parts I never let Him see. Saved and strong, His mercy writes a future full of hope. Saved and strong, His hands restore the places I felt broke. Saved and strong, I trust Him when the storm begins to roar. Saved and strong, I walk in peace I never knew before. I learned to lean on Jesus when my doubts were loud and strong. I found His rest when everything around me felt so wrong. I held His truth when shadows tried to pull me from His side. I felt Him near when every plan I built just fell and died. I saw a light break through the worry sitting on my chest. I watched Him turn my weakness into courage I could test. I breathe again because His kindness carried me each day. I knew His heart was with me even when I lost my way. Saved and strong, I rise because His promise never fades. Saved and strong, He lifts me when my courage starts to break. Saved and strong, I stand because His presence fights for me. Saved and strong, He heals the parts I never let Him see. Saved and strong, His mercy writes a future full of hope. Saved and strong, His hands restore the places I felt broke. Saved and strong, I trust Him when the storm begins to roar. Saved and strong, I walk in peace I never knew before. I've grown through trials that try to shape my heart with fear. I walk with faith that taught me God stay close and always near. I've held His peace when every voice around me said to quit. I've learned His plan goes deeper than the things I can't predict. I've stood in truth when pressure tried to twist the way I think. I prayed in times when I was hanging right over the brink. I've seen His help in seconds when I thought the fight was done. I've lived to say His mercy never lost a single one. Saved and strong, I rise because His promise never fades. Saved and strong, He lifts me when my courage starts to break. Saved and strong, I stand because His presence fights for me. Saved and strong, He heals the parts I never let Him see. Saved and strong, His mercy writes a future full of hope. Saved and strong, His hands restore the places I felt broke. Saved and strong, I trust Him when the storm begins to roar. Saved and strong, I walk in peace I never knew before. When I feel weak, He reminds me who I'm called to be. When I fall short, He restores the strength inside of me. When I lose sight, He directs me back to where He stands. When I'm unsure, He holds steady with His guiding hands. When fear creeps in, He surrounds me with a calming voice. When hope gets dim, He reminds me I still have a choice. When tears come down, He assures me I'm not on my own. When trials rise, He declares that I'm already known. Saved and strong, I rise because His promise never fades. Saved and strong, He lifts me when my courage starts to break. Saved and strong, I stand because His presence fights for me. Saved and strong, He heals the parts I never let Them see. Saved and strong, His mercy writes a future full of hope. Saved and strong, His hands restore the places I felt broke. Saved and strong, I trust Him when the storm begins to roar. Saved and strong, I walk in peace I never knew before. Every saint. I was walking through the silence, wondering if you heard my cry. Trying hard to keep my balance while the pressure multiplied. Every night I fought the shadows that were clouding up my view, but you met me in the stillness, showing mercy breaking through. I was sinking in confusion till your promise held me tight. Found a refuge in your presence when my strength was running light. Now I'm learning how to trust you even when the path is slow, cause you lift me from the troubles only heaven's love can know. Christ the King, you steady my heart when I'm trembling inside. Christ the King, you carry the weight that I try to hide. Christ the King, you reach in the dark and you pull me near. Christ the King, your truth is a voice that silences fear. Christ the King, you got every step when the road is rough. Christ the King, your grace is enough when the storm gets tough. Christ the King, I lean on the power your promise brings. Christ the King, forever I live in the shelter of Christ. I remember feeling distant, like my prayers were fading out, like the worries in my chest were building louder than my shout. But you answered with compassion when my courage came up then. You restored the broken pieces I kept hiding deep within. Now I'm breathing with assurance that your word won't ever fail. In the moments when I stumble, you remain my safest trail. Every scripture lit a fire that reminded me to stand, and you shaped my heart with patience no one else could understand. Christ the King, you steady my heart when I'm trembling inside. Christ the King, you carry the weight that I try to hide. Christ the King, you reach in the dark and you pull me near. Christ the King, your truth is a voice that silences fear. Christ the King, you got every step when the road is rough. Christ the King, your grace is enough when the storm gets tough. Christ the King, I lean on the power your promise brings. Christ the King, forever I live in the shelter of Christ the King. I've been learning through the trials that endurance grows with time. Every setback turned to wisdom when I trusted you were kind. When the pressure felt unending, you restored my hope again. You reminded me you're faithful in the battles I've been in. Even when the doors were closing, you prepared a different way. And the peace I found in prayer carries strength until my day. Now I'm resting in the freedom that your resurrection gives. Knowing love like this eternal shapes the way a person lives. Christ the King, you steady my heart when I'm trembling inside. Christ the King, you carry the weight that I try to hide. Christ the King, you reach in the dark and you pull me near. Christ the King, your truth is a voice that silences fear. Christ the King, you got every step when the road is rough. Christ the King, your grace is enough when the storm gets tough. Christ the King, I lean on the power your promise brings. Christ the King, forever I live in the shelter of Christ the King. When the doubts were chasing after me, you calmed my anxious mind, and you showed me through your presence that your healing is divine. I was standing on the edge, unsure of what tomorrow held. Then your kindness wrapped around me in a way my heart could feel. You restored what I thought shattered, gave me courage to begin. And the victory you promised started rising deep within. Now I'm walking with assurance that your word remains my guide, cause you're reigning in your glory and you're always by my side. Christ the King, you steady my heart when I'm trembling inside. Christ the King, you carry the weight that I try to hide. Christ the King, you reach in the dark and you pull me near. Christ the King, your truth is a voice that silences fear. Christ the King, you got every step when the road is rough. Christ the King, your grace is enough when the storm gets tough. Christ the King, I lean on the power your promise brings. Christ the King, forever I live in the shelter of Christ the King. You are strength when my resolve is fading low. You are peace when heavy thoughts begin to grow. You are light when I can't see which way to turn. You are truth when every lie begins to burn. You are hope when disappointment fills the air. You are love that lifts me when I'm unaware. You are life that breaks through every aching part. You are Lord who guards the corners of my heart. Christ the King, you steady my heart when I'm trembling inside. Christ the King, you carry the weight that I try to hide. Christ the King, you reach in the dark and you pull me near. Christ the King, your truth is a voice that silences fear. Christ the King, you got every step when the road is rough. Christ the King, your grace is enough when the storm gets tough. Christ the King, I lean on the power your promise brings. Christ the King, forever I live in the shelter of Christ the King.